Democrats say they're very confident these remaining ballots, primarily from the generally Democratic Philadelphia area, they believe will put Biden over the top. We also have a live look at mail-in ballots being processed over there.
Well, it's day 3, and we still do not know who the next president of the United States is.
Momentarily.
For President Trump to put it away, correct?
Yeah, necessary for Trump, but not sufficient. So, right, that's it. That's a good way to think about it, I think. Right now, we say the ball game is Pennsylvania, in that Biden wins the ball game if he wins Pennsylvania. Trump stays in the ball game if he wins Pennsylvania. And then you start looking at the rest of the electoral map and what it would take for Donald Trump. If you gave him Pennsylvania, he'd be sitting at 234. Again, his campaign feels good about North Carolina. I think there may be good reason for that. That would put him at 249. If he holds off Biden in Georgia, that's a huge if, given what we're seeing there. But if he does, that would put him at 265. Then you'd be looking at, okay, Alaska, that's not called. Remember that one? If Trump gets Alaska, 268. That would leave a Nevada or in Arizona. You'd have to pull off one of those. And certainly, you see, we've heard tonight about what we can expect in Nevada tomorrow. That really probably means Arizona. Arizona's the one there where Trump seems to have a shot. So he'd need Arizona, he'd need Georgia, he'd need North Carolina, Alaska, and he'd need Pennsylvania. It's interesting because you can look at these states right now, certainly Alaska, certainly North Carolina. I think you could still make a case Trump could pull out Georgia somehow. You could certainly make a case he could pull out Arizona. But Pennsylvania is the one, when you start looking at these votes, you're right. Something dramatic would have to change in these remaining results in Pennsylvania, because the trajectory right now is not one the Trump campaign wants to be on in that ballot count.
So what you want to do, I got a pocket full of rubbers, and my old boys do too. So turn off the lights and close the doors. But what? We don't love them hosed. Yeah. So we go smoke and announce to this. G's up, hose down, while your mother bounce to this. Rolling down the street, smoking and sipping on gin and juice. Laid back with my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
Okay, political vlog. I certainly try to avoid these, but we're kind of at the point where we need to talk about the elephant in the room. So on Tuesday, November 3rd, the United States held its general presidential election. Every 4 years we have those to determine if we either keep our previous president of 4 years or elect a new president between one of the two major parties, Republican and Democrat. That is your 5th grade lesson on United States politics, so you probably know that regardless of where you're from. Anyways, the past 4 years have been really kind of unprecedented with the guy we've got in there. It's Republican Donald Trump and his Vice President Mike Pence. An interesting pairing, to say the least. It's been a very interesting 4 years. We've seen a lot of things happen that have never happened before, and heard things said that have never been said before. And he's not really a politician, he's a businessman and entertainer, so to speak. So having him in the Oval Office serving as the 45th United States president is pretty interesting. I'm choosing my words carefully. Anyways, Tuesday was the opportunity to make a change, should Americans want to do that. And we have this horrible system here for voting. We have 50 states, and it's called the Electoral College. And for some reason, you can win the popular vote. Let's say you have a country of 100 people and 55 of you vote for candidate A. Well, that candidate can still lose even though more people wanted that candidate. We use this electoral college system to try to make up for the fact that more people live in urban centers, you know, cities in multiple states versus your rural areas. And you have states with huge populations and states with tiny populations. And we have states like Rhode Island that are tiny, and then states like Alaska that are ridiculously huge. California and Texas are not the largest U.S. states. Alaska is. So this system was put in place a long-ass time ago, when it probably made more sense than it does now. And then with this year, you know, with COVID and with a very polarized general public, we see a lot of people voting early, voting absentee and voting through the U.S. mail, which our president attempted to shut down and didn't fully succeed with. So I don't know if that's a federal offense or not, but close to it. Anyways, Tuesday was vote day to go out and vote in person. I voted many weeks ago through mail and was able to confirm and verify that my vote had been received and counted. So we stayed up late Tuesday night. Larissa and her friend Hope came over, and Kenan was here, and we just watched news networks and listened to the states come in and report their results. So you need a complete total of 270 electoral votes in this electoral college to win, and every state has so many. I think the lowest state, I know Alaska's 3, I'm not sure if anybody has less, maybe Hawaii is 2 or something like that. The biggest state, the most state, is the most populous state with 39,500,000 residents, and that's the state of California with 55 electoral votes. So that's a big chunk, and California is a traditionally liberal state that tends to vote for its Democratic candidates. So California, of course, went blue. New York goes blue. Illinois, home of Chicago, goes blue. Your usual suspects. It always comes down to what we call the swing states. We have Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Minnesota, North Carolina, Florida, this year Arizona and Nevada as members of the swing states. And those are the states that the race is so close they literally have to count every single ballot, including the military that are sending them in from overseas, including the residents that went and voted in person, including the mail-in ballots, the drop-off ballots. There's all these different type of ballots that can legally be counted, and it takes a lot of time to do that, seeing that they've got to be opened up and verified and go through by person and then record the vote, put it in the system and verify that, and then publish the results. So it is now Thursday night. We should have known who the next president is 2 days ago, and we still don't because it's this close. Joe Biden, Democratic candidate, has a pretty close lead. I don't know why I'm like spelling this out for you guys like you're in second grade. I feel like a lot of my viewers are overseas and probably don't pay attention to American politics. I do more than I allude to. I avoid talking about it a lot. It's not something I want to discuss very often. It's not what I want to look back at in 5 years when I watch these vlogs and be like, oh yeah, Biden lost or won or whatever happens. So I avoid it. I keep thinking, oh, we'll know tomorrow. We'll know tomorrow. We'll know tomorrow. The reality is it may be several more days. And right now it's kind of depending on Pennsylvania and how they get through their votes. What the last votes they're counting are mail-in ballots from Philadelphia and Delaware counties on the southeast corner of the state. Borders New Jersey. It's traditionally liberal. So I think Biden had a 1 million vote deficit, and then it was 700,000, and then it was 100,000, and now it's like 20-something thousand. So Biden's really creeping up there. I'm not going to talk about my views one way or the other, but it's a lot, and it's all you hear about anywhere, and we all want to know, and it's taking forever, and it's giving us a lot of anxiety. Anyways, that's where we are. I'll keep you updated if they determine a winner tonight, tomorrow, Monday, January, March, November next year, whenever the hell it is. Other than that, today we had a customer come by the shop and rent lift space, work on his Jetta or his Golf GTI. Did brakes, pads, and rotors. Great guy, Noah. We talked to him for a couple hours as he did that. I worked on Kenan's car. We got the coil packs. I got the coil packs back in. I got the valve covers on, those beauty covers over the coil packs. I did a ton of mail and sales quotes and estimates and shipping and all that crap that I usually do. And then we had pasta night here at the house and kicked back to some YouTube on the TV. So going to bed. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow on Friday. Good night.